There's an aura about reloading that I think it's a little bit unfair, especially to those that really want to kind of get into reloading. And that was my big hang-up. I'm about 4 or 5 months into my reloading journey, and my initial barrier was just the intimidation factor. And so I'm out here at Gunsight getting over the hurdles that once stopped me. My good buddy Jared Grove, a lot of people call him Box. He's this towering guy, and man, he's been reloading seriously since 2007, and he really kind of gave me the best advice. And he just said, man, the best thing to do is just to jump in, go for it, learn as much as you can. And he's been doing it ever since, and with great proficiency. So I'm out here at Gunsight, and we are going through a reloading 101 course taught by the man himself, Gavin Gear of Ultimate Reloader. We're kind of learning from Gavin about the intricacies of reloading and what are some of the basic terminology and uses. And we're getting familiar with our equipment, understanding what we have. We have a Frankfurt Impress in front of us. We're shooting Vita Vori powder. We're using Berger bullets. So there's a lot of components that come together that, man, in the wild, they're hard, you can hardly find them. We're using Lapua brass. So that's really exciting to get to use these high-end components to start our reloading. You know, we take that Lapua brass and we start loading, and we just jump right into it. And so, and that portion of it, that makes sense to me. That really is one of those things that I look at and I can understand it. And especially when you've got an expert and a couple of experts around class. We had Box running around helping everybody, Hunter was helping everybody. So it was really helpful to get kind of one-on-one experience. And that's probably one of my recommendations. If you're looking to get into reloading, man, find someone that can just walk you through the steps, and that's gonna be really helpful for your journey. So we get to cranking ammo out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do a ladder setup, and we're going to understand what load works best for our guns. On this trip we're using the Seekins Havoc Hit rifle. Love the gun, it shoots really good. But we headed out to the range with our first 25 pieces of brass we loaded up to find out where they were shooting. So while we were on the range, and you know, you'd load your first 5 up, and we had our boxes all marked, so we understood which, you know, rounds were in each section, so we weren't getting off right there. But it was interesting to see how different the class was on their charges. You were getting readings from, you know, 29, 30, all the way up to 3,042. And that's kind of where we ended up, and Gavin really, in the end, went over all the data, and you could see where your data points were, which is fantastic, because then we knew what our rifles liked. So the next step of the process was we were loading up 100 rounds to go shoot long range the next day. You know, on the range, I loved it. It was very special for me to be able to create something and be able to shoot at those further distances. I was averaging 3,042 feet per second. That was my average over the best 5 loads. I was shooting 45.2 grains of Vita Vori, and it's funny because I was shooting really well. The day before, you know, when we were grouping these rifles and we were figuring out which load we wanted to use, I didn't feel like I shot all that great, but man, when we got onto the longer range, like, everything started to come together, and it tied together very nicely. This event and having it at Gunsight, and Gunsight is, you know, known for a pistol fighting school, a shotgun fighting school, a rifle fighting school. But, you know, we put this, Frankfurt Arsenal put this reloading event on as a reloading 101. And it really did help me realize, like, how much I didn't really know and didn't understand the intricacies of, you know, an ogive to base measurement and why that's important. And so when I look at a class like this, and if there's a class offered in your area, 100% you got to do it. You have to do it, because there's not many opportunities to get to learn from someone that I hold in high esteem. especially because, man, I think I've watched all his videos. So if you have an opportunity to take something like this, I highly recommend doing it. If you're thinking about getting into reloading, man, take the jump. Just start to crawl, and then before you know it, man, you're going to be running and you're going to be taking off in your reloading journey.